Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker. And if you have not stopped in for one of these quickie introductions before, this is what I actually look like 95% of the time. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm basically just coming in here to introduce this video, and I'm not going to put on a full face of makeup just to do a 5-minute introduction to a video. So if unfiltered face is a problem for you, I would recommend right on out of here. Anyway, so this is as the title down below says, a Taming the Stash update. We will hit a couple of different parts of my house. I am hoping I remember to take pictures of things before I got started on certain things, but here we are. So I will pause this, get the camera reversed, and we'll move on to the next thing. All right. So like I said, paused it, reversed it, flipped around and did something else to it. I don't know. So yarn wall looks about the same. Not a whole lot of changes done here. I'm still using my hooks. I do have these set aside for sweaters. My Spook Your Spring Make Along bucket is now more or less empty. I have some things for the August giveaways. If you guys watched my show and tell first week of June, I guess, if you're catching this late, June 2023, I shared with you guys, I pulled these 5 skeins together to be a Stephen West shawl. I still have not picked out the shawl. I think I'm going to pair these with a gray. This was sent to me. I want to make the yarn and the shawl that the pattern was gifted to me in. I need to tie these together in their little bundles, but that's why those are sitting there apart from the rest of my Yarnable and ALC subscription yarns. No change to these bins. No real change to this. I'm not sure if I shared this after I finished kind of going through this and reorganizing this. I did pull some yarn from here, there, and everywhere, but that is where that is. But in April, my goal was actually to focus on WIPs and UFOs, which I did complete a couple of those. And May was kind of trying to get some stuff cleaned up around upstairs. So I did not work a whole lot out of this. Well, hello, Banner. Squeak, squeak. I don't know what that was about. I guess he left the craft room thinking he was going to be safe, and then I came out here. What'd she do? Pitiful paws. So, in the show and tell I did a couple days ago, which would be the 2nd week of June 2023, or 3rd week of June 2023. What are we? This is like sometime around the 10th or the 12th or 15th. I did share some things that I cranked out on the knitting machines. I am trying to get some stuff worked down. Now, this is now more or less empty. I did get this more or less emptified. These I found upstairs when I was cleaning. So I am actually going to make a scarf using these because that matches a hat that I did previously this year. So that'll give me something with that. This is a single skein left over from doing a shawl. That will probably get blended into one of my mandala 2 at a time projects. Hi, Banner. Hi, Fluffy Manor. I think he thinks this channel is all about him. I know Pippin has that issue. So that still leaves us with these 2 totes full of yarn. Now, I did find a home for the hats and scarves. So most of those will be going to my brother where he can distribute them. He knows my rules for distribution. So he said they have plenty of places up there that can use them. So that is where I'm probably going to be sending a lot of the hats and scarves. Out of this tote, I did pull out these to take upstairs. I have a sleeveless top, a knit sleeveless top that I'm thinking about doing with that. That is part of the Erica yarn. most of this is all Erica yarn here. So these 2 bins right here are mostly full of these 1 pounds, and those are going to be going to joining blankets. So we're not worried about those as far as taming the stash, really. We want to get these on the yarn wall or used, and those on the yarn wall or used. So that's the goal with this column. These are all set aside to be used on the knitting machine. So I have 2 totes left to go of what I've set aside. I have a basket of things to be finished here. We have what I'm putting up next. I already have everything cast on here, but that's what will go on next, is that universal yarn. And I have replenished my tote. So this was almost completely empty. I had like 3 full skeins left down here. Now this is more or less completely empty. Those 4 will be a project together. This will be turned into pumpkins. These will go into a project probably with an off-white or a cream. Then we have some like partials. Things like this, I'm thinking about going ahead and taking upstairs to make granny squares and C2C scrap squares with. Just because I'm kind of lazy like that. I did add some more neutrals to the neutral bucket as we've gone along. I am thinking about, there is a pattern for a teddy bear using the Addy King and the Addy Standard. As we now have both set up, I am thinking about doing that. So that is where the downstairs stuff is. Now, hopefully, I will be putting in some pictures and stuff coming up of what my WIPs areas look like versus where they are now. And I did film some footage just in case, but before we duck out, welcome back to my guest room closet, as we have seen this a number of times this year. This is where we are on the hats and scarves. I have 2 more blankets to go in here, but this is blankets, and then this is shawls to be donated. So this is my current donation stack. I also, over here on the shelf, have a bin for dishcloths and also makeup bags that I have gotten from different places over the last year. Those will all be sent to Rose, along with some of the hats and scarves. And then we have more blankets over here to donate. So that is where all this is. I have my solo, there's a solo scarf and a solo hat. This is the one that I'll use the yarn I just showed you to match. So that'll be easy, and then it'll be put up. But I did do kind of like a quick count through the box, and I have 32 hat and scarf sets so far this year that are ready for donation. They're all finished and ready to go except for putting palms on. So once again, Banner Boo. So anyway, I am going to comb through my phone to see if I did in fact take those pictures that I think I took, and I will start smushing things together. So I'm starting this clip here. We're still working on this. This is a mess. I understand this is a mess. But once again, part of this Taming the Stash process and procedure this year is just sharing intimately how I store things. So this is the corner of my bedroom where I store most of my WIPs. Now, this cart is not meant to be here permanently. I have plans to move this into the study eventually, but at this time, I don't have room in the study for it, and I haven't decided what to do with the table that's in the study. These are my pattern books that I put together last year of all my printed out patterns, but somehow I've ended up with projects stacked up here, and these are project bags. Like, we're not going to deal with that basket. That's going to stay here. Then we have WIPs down on the bottom shelf. I also have 2 blanket WIPs here. We won't talk about the stuff I have jumped on top of that. But one thing I did clear out is this. So none of these have projects in them anymore except for this bag. I am going to take all my project bags downstairs and clear this off because my husband likes to put his shirts on this, so now it's his. And then we have a box of badges that I can clip on my project bags and baskets to share what's in there. But I did want to share you guys with what's in here. Now we're going to head to the study and talk about that. So I'm not sure if I remembered to catch a picture of this or not, but this is now my cleaned off table behind my computer desk. Computadora table. So this was stacked almost all the way to the picture here with projects and yarn and miscellaneous stuff. So it's not perfectly organized. It's not perfectly neat. Surprise, surprise, I am a cluttered person. But this is mostly journals that I'm using for different things, patterns, my project journal, things like that. We do also have this cart, which I have now cleared off most of the middle section of there. And I still have blanket parts down here that need to be put with their projects. And I have a couple project bags still hanging there. But all of this has actually been gone through and is much neater than it was a little while ago. So I'm very pleased with that. Also, we do still have my hexagon blanket down here in its basket. I haven't been spending as much time working at the computer. And I've told you guys before, this is my basket of the travel bags with like needles, scissors, all that stuff. So I can just come over here and grab one of these bags as I have a project to go. So now on to the next group of stuff to discuss. And just as a quick wrap up real quick, guys, this is where I do most of my knitting and crocheting. And I'm just saying there's still stacks of projects everywhere. So we have a ponchoette, a scarf, 2 shawls, my sweater that I've been working on, the sweater that I finished, the actual sweater I'm working on. We have socks, some stuff that needs the ends woven in on, and a hat for my great aunt and the big toad. So even though the 2 blanket projects are now no longer on the love seat, I still am literally surrounded on my beautiful spot of the sofa with projects. So progress has been made over the last 2 months. Not nearly as much as I wish had been made, but progress has still been made. It's just not been as visual. I know a couple of you guys were worried I had stopped doing this series just because I hadn't been posting updates, but really visually there hasn't been a whole lot to update you guys on. So here we are. Carry on. And we will, keep calm, carry on, all that good stuff. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all soon.